My name is Joel Schreurs. I farm in Lincoln County, Minnesota, along with my son-in-law and his family. I farm about 1,000 acres, and then they have another roughly 500 acres plus a cow-calf operation. I've been farming for, close to 40 years now. It's a multi-generation family farm. I started farming very early, or helping with the farming operation, but always thought it was way too much work, and actually went to school for sales. I did that for a couple of years, and then an opportunity arose, and that was during the very early 1980s. And like I said, an opportunity arose to rent some land and start farming, and started doing it, and have been doing it ever since. It's probably the hardest job you'll ever love. The soybean quality that we produce here on our farm is probably second to none. We're very particular on how we raise our crop and how we produce that crop, so that the end user wants to keep buying from us, no matter if it's here in the United States or a foreign buyer. Again, like I said, we're very particular on how we handle our grain. We want to make sure that it's something that anybody that buys it knows that we do a good job. And I think for the most part, most farmers are that way. They're here to make money, but it's their livelihood, and it's a family business typically in most places. The majority of the people don't just do it for that 1 or 2 years. They're in it for the very long haul, and again, probably multi-generational. The current situation here where I live is very distressing. It's hard to get some of the goods and services so far. I think we'll be able to take care of what we need to take care of as long as nobody gets sick. But it is very concerning. Some of the products or parts that we've been working on, the equipment, as far as going to the dealership, they won't even let you walk in the front door anymore. You have to order them or pre-order them, or just go to the front door and give them a list of what you want, and then they bring it out to your truck. Well, we can't guarantee that, but as the person that runs the planter, but if I were to get sick, my son-in-law could run it, or it may not go quite as smooth as what we'd hope, but we have steps in place where we can each run the other person's equipment, basically. Most farming operations, you typically have one person that does a specific job, but we're cross-trained, and most people are cross-trained and available to run the different equipment. As soon as the weather permits, we will be starting. It's pretty cold here. We had some snow about 10 days ago, and then we had some freezing rain here just a couple days ago. So it's still fairly cold here. Normally we don't start planting. Small grain would probably start in roughly 2 to 3 weeks, and then the corn, and then the soybeans after that. So we have about a month yet before we start planting our soybeans, but we typically try to get them in as early as possible, and that's very dependent on the soil conditions. It definitely needs to be warm. Last year, the weather in this area was terrible. We virtually didn't hardly plant any corn. We had 50% of our ground in preventive plant, but we were able to plant probably 95-97% of our soybeans that were supposedly going to be planted, and we actually had a very good crop. So whatever Mother Nature and God lets us have, that's what we'll end up with. I would say that the COVID-19 is very stressful, especially here coming into this planting season. But we will get planted one way or another. We will plant. It may not be by every person that wants to be out there, but our crop will get planted, and we'll try to harvest a great crop like always. But Mother Nature has a lot to do with that, and she is the queen.